I wanted to share the way that I created books with Gemini and Claude. I've seen a couple of videos by other creators who have very complicated methods and techniques of creating books. Of course, every method is going to, reap a different quality or type of result. But the result I'm getting, the way I'm doing it, works for me. I don't know, maybe for somebody else as well. It's fairly simple, but usually I start with an intention. I have an idea for a book, and then I decide, well, I want to write a prompt that is a really detailed command for the AI to proceed to give me an outline or write a first chapter or whatever. And usually there's a lot of videos on how to write prompts, and there's specific format. You have to give, you usually start out with a role to tell the AI, well, I want you to take on the role of a super successful, sophisticated author of nonfiction or whatever it is. And then the context is that this book is intended to transform the world, or whatever your purpose is in writing the book. And then you can ask the AI to write the prompt for you. Tell it what you can, and then tell it to ask you questions, qualifying questions, to get the best prompt, to get the best procedure for producing the book in the best possible way, and the greatest, with the best quality. And then what happened next is that the AIs I used, they created the books one chapter at a time. So I would read through the chapter, and then I would comment on it. Sometimes just totally change the attitude about the narrative because I didn't like it, or because I wanted to inject some new characteristic of the characters, some new quality of the characters. For instance, I started a YA sci-fi book, and I realized, well, let's do something unusual. So I said, well, let's make all the characters meditators. They all meditate, or they know about meditation, or something like that. And then it kind of rewrote the first chapter and introduced that element into the story. And so it goes chapter by chapter. Usually I can recommend a change here and there, and ask questions about the narrative if I don't understand it. And it cooperates. I started using Claude for writing because I heard that it was better than the other AIs, and it was doing very well for a while. Until one day I went to open up the file, and it had forgotten everything that I had done. It finally did remember after a couple of days, but by then I'd given up on Claude and moved to Gemini, Google Gemini, to write. Gemini has a different attitude about writing. It's not as cooperative. Of course, I gave it some instructions to test my critical thinking, so that might be what's causing the problem with the way that it produces chapters. It'll write part of the chapter, then will ask me for a decision. Should we do this? Should we do that? Etc. and so on. And then it will continue to write the chapter, so I can't just copy the entire chapter. I have to piece it together, or ask Google to reproduce the entire chapter now that we're done with it, so that I can copy it into Google Docs, is where I usually take the written material from AI to Google Docs to compose the book and create the table of contents. And once the book is done and in Google Docs, I have a table of contents, a glossary or whatever, I will transfer it to Kindle Create, which is the Kindle program for the final version before it goes actually to the KDP, which is the Kindle Direct Publishing application. So I hope all that makes sense. First it's the AI, then Google Docs, and Kindle Create, and then KDP. If you asked one of the AIs to help you follow that sequence of actions, I'm sure you'll get that help you need.